Hi, I'm Liz with Liz's Crafts, and today I'm going to show you how I made this cute little small wreath. So what I have is a reed wreath form that I've had for years, and I took some jute twine and put it through the back of it in two different areas so that I could then tie it in a knot. So that's going to be my hanger for my wreath. And then I'm just going to cut off the ends of the jute. Once I get that cut off, then I can start wrapping it with my ribbon. Now this is some ribbon that I had gotten from Dollar Tree years ago. And it is a plaid. It's orangey and browns, and it does have wire on the edges with some gold. And I am just going to wrap it all the way around the wreath. Now I should have taken my hot glue and glued that end down, but I thought I could just wrap it. But really, I mean, it did okay, but really it would have been better if I'd have taken my hot glue and glued it down. My glue gun wasn't hot enough at this time, so I'm like, well, I'm just going to go ahead and do it. But I wish in hindsight that I would have glued that end down first. So I'm just going to go around and wrap the whole wreath with this pretty plaid ribbon. Nice fall colors. And then when I get to where my hanger is, I'm going to go ahead and cut off my ribbon. And then I'm going to feed it through the loop that I have for my hanger. And then I'm going to take it under to the back side of my wreath, and I'm going to glue it down. Again, you can see the wreath form right there that is showing, and like I said, I wish I would have went ahead and glued that other end down because it was a little loose and it wasn't covering my wreath form there. So I did try to pull it so that it would cover the rest of my wreath form and then get it glued down. Now with this, I wish I would have used something to press the glue in there because you know what? I burned myself. Every time I use a glue gun, I burn myself. So anyway, I got a couple blisters from that. So when you use a hot glue gun, just be careful and don't do what I do and give yourself blisters. So here I'm just using the tip of my scissors to push that down, to push the ribbon down, because I was not going to touch it again with my fingers. So there it is, all wrapped, and it looks pretty. And then there was just a little piece of the ribbon hanging there, and I cut that off. So I got these 4-pack of pumpkins from Hobby Lobby, and I have several of them. And sorry, I do not have the footage for this. I thought I was filming, but evidently I was not. So all I did was I put a circle of glue on the bottom of each pumpkin and then just added it to the top of the wreath. And then I made a bow of a 4-loop bow, 2 on each side, out of that same ribbon. And I'm going to put it at the top underneath where the hanger is, on the front side of my wreath on top of the pumpkins. And then I have these scatter pumpkins from Hobby Lobby. Those are foam. And I'm just going to take out the ones that are basically the same color as the pumpkins that I have on the wreath. And I'm just going to take one of them there and put it in the middle of my bow. And I thought really that I was done at this point. But I decided, you know what? I need to do more with this. So after this, I keep going. But it looks pretty just like that. I mean, if you like more on the plain side, and sometimes I do, like less is more or whatever, you could stop here. But I decided to take those smaller foam orange pumpkins and then put them in between the other pumpkins at the front side. You know, kind of beneath those. You can see me doing it right there, so you can tell what I'm doing. You might not be able to see it real good, but you can see where I'm kind of placing it in between those pumpkins right there. And I'm just going to do that all the way around my wreath. So I just put the glue on the bottom of those foam pumpkins, and it does kind of bubble up a little bit. And then just place them on my wreath. And I do go all the way around, even where the bow is. And actually, these items that I have that I got from Hobby Lobby, I got them from Hobby Lobby, I want to say last year, when it was either 75 or 90% off. That's usually when I buy my fall items and my Christmas items, is after those holidays. And then they'll mark them down 75%, and then later they'll mark them down to 90%. Sometimes it's kind of hard to figure out when they're going to do that. And I miss it. But this particular time, I was able to get me several items. And I want to say they were 90% off. And I think we were visiting our daughter at the time. And she lives in Bushland in the north part of Texas, and I had gone to their Hobby Lobby and gotten a bunch, but their Hobby Lobby is in Amarillo, not too far from where she lives. And now I'm thinking that I can go ahead and put 2 pumpkins in between the pumpkins that I already put down, just to fill that up around the edge. So I am pulling out all the pumpkins that are that color, because there's brown, there's a dark brown, there's a tan, there's a red, there's this orange, and there might be another orange, or maybe that reddish is more orange. So I'm pulling out all the ones that are this color, and I'm thinking, okay, so I can get 2 in between each spot, and I'm counting how many spots I have. So 16. I wasn't counting up where the bow was, because you're not really going to see that. But I need at least 16 of these, and I did have more than 16, so we're good to go. I think I had like 18 or something, just enough. So instead of putting the glue on the pumpkins, which was taking longer, I went ahead and put the glue on the wreath itself. And then I could place my pumpkins. But a lot of these pumpkins, you can see the white foam. So you want to make sure you put the right side of the pumpkin on your wreath, or else it's just not going to look as nice. I don't know why a lot of them had the white showing. I don't know if it was just because they were old. I wouldn't think so, but anyway, at least one side was good, so it worked out. And then one on each side of the hanger. And that's it for those color pumpkins. That's all I had. Used them all. So then I'm like, well, you know, you could stop there. It's still looking okay. It's just kind of plain again, like it was. But I thought, well, you know, I might want to add something else to this. So I'm just straightening up my bow, and you can see there's 2 loops on each side. Very simple bow to make. So like I said, I thought that was it. But then I went and got these here again from my stash. That was from Hobby Lobby. That was, I think they're $2.99. So, you know, I paid like 30 cents for them from last year. So I'm just going to take these and I'm going to start putting them in between my pumpkins on the outside portion. So I'm just putting some hot glue on it and poking them in there. So I have, there's dark brown, there's like a brownish gold, and then there's like a gold one. So I'm doing the dark brown, the goldish brown, and then the gold. And I'm just going to keep repeating that pattern. And I had 2 of these stems, and I only had to use 1 of them. In fact, I still had 2 of those pieces left over. And I just pulled them off the stem. They came off real easy. So I'm just using my hot glue on the stem and then putting the stem in between my pumpkins. And that worked out very well. And like I said, I'm doing the dark brown, the gold brown, and then the gold. And just keep repeating that pattern. And for some reason, this one here just didn't want to do right. I don't know what was up with that one. I think the hot glue kind of melted it because it is plastic. And it just did not want to cooperate. And instead of it kind of sticking out to the side, it's sticking up. But I go back and try to fix it later. So this one here, the ends are a little bit flared out. And it was kind of hard to get that one in between those 2 pumpkins, so I had to cut the end of it off. And then I just went ahead and cut the end off of this one. And I'm going to put it on the other side. So then that leaves 1 space for 1 more, and I'm going to put the gold one in it. Now you could stop here too. And I thought I probably was. Well, no, not at this point. Okay, so I'm taking 2 of the darker brown ones, and I am going to put one on either side of the little pumpkin that's in my my ribbon there, my bow. Now I tried one of the gold brown ones, but I didn't really like that, so I did end up using 2 of the darker brown ones. Now, this is the point where I say, okay, I could stop here. And I thought maybe I was going to stop here. I mean, I was going to stop with this one a couple of times. And this is where, you know, I try to fix that one that just didn't go in right. The one that's sticking like straight up instead of out. So I try to glue it down so it's more sticking out. I guess it might have helped a little bit. So I'm just looking at it. I'm like, okay, is this good? Are we going to stop here? Do I need anything else? And like I said, this looks pretty good. I'm not going to lie. I like it that way. And then I thought, well, I could put some more of these on. I have another thing of them. And then I decided, no, I didn't like that. So then I took the little white, well, they're not white pumpkins. They're little cream colored pumpkins. And I laid them in between each of the larger orange pumpkins. And I'm like, you know what? I like that. So I am going to start gluing those on. And then I just put glue on the bottom and then put them in between each of the larger orange pumpkins, and that's it. But again, with these foam pumpkins, you need to make sure you're going to glue the right side, because if you see any of the foam, which is white, that's the part you want to glue down, because you don't want that you know, for everybody to see and they're like, there's chunks of it missing. You don't want that. It don't look so good. Then there were two of them that were actually stuck together, and I knew if I tried to pull them apart, there would be a lot of the white foam showing in it, so I didn't even mess with those. I guess for it being scatter or whatever, Hobby Lobby doesn't care what kind of shape they're in. Which is kind of sad because, you know, we pay for this stuff. So I think this is the last one I put on. And now I am really done with this wreath. This is all I do to it. I think it turned out pretty good. You'll have to let me know what you think. I actually have it hanging on my large mirror that's in the front entryway. I like it. I like it a lot. But let me know what you think about it. Put it in the comments. I like reading all the comments. Just kind of moving stuff out of the way of my table so you can get a better look at it. Move my scissors. There it is. I wish my hands were out of the way. And there it is hanging on my front door on the inside. So this is an inside wreath. Again, I'm Liz with Liz's Crafts, and if you like what you see, give me a thumbs up. And if you're not subscribed, please feel free to do so. I do 3 videos, Monday, Wednesday, and Friday, and then shorts on the other days.